Election year is a special year. Facebook friendships get really tense. I see Trump's face way more often than I'd like. Canadians laugh at us. Yay! I can't wait. Hey everyone, Lacey Green here. Lately my friends have been hotly debating Hillary versus the Bern. What are the real differences between these two, and which has a better track record on women's rights and social justice? The first thing that you should know is that when Hillary and Bernie were both senators, they voted the same way 93% of the time. So they're not besties, but close. On issues of abortion, parental leave, and the pay gap, Hillary and Bernie vote the same. Hillary has long been an outspoken advocate for women. Her quote that women's rights are human rights has been repeated around the world. On racial justice issues, both Hillary and Bernie stand in support with the Black Lives Matter movement and have criminal justice reform plans. On LGBT rights, Bernie has a consistent record, whereas Clinton only came on board more recently. So where does that 7% disagreement come in? There are a few key issues. As we saw in the debates, Hillary and Bernie disagree on gun control. Hillary has strongly advocated for comprehensive gun control and has proposed a plan to match. Bernie's record is inconsistent here. He voted in favor of an assault weapons ban, but then voted against comprehensive gun control in 1993. He also voted to prevent victims of gun violence from suing weapons manufacturers and voted in favor of a bill to allow firearms on public transit. Gun control advocacy group Everytown argues that gun control and gender equality are closely connected issues. Quote, at least 52% of women murdered with guns are killed by intimate partners or family members. American women are 11 times more likely to be murdered with guns than women in other developed countries, making the US the most dangerous country for women in the developed world when it comes to gun violence. Hill and Bernie also have different stances on the financial crisis. Bernie voted against the big bailout, whereas Hillary voted for it. That bailout is ongoing, and as of 2015 cost Americans $16.8 trillion. Some economists say that the bailout was necessary for the economic stability of the US. However, it's still true that some of Hillary's biggest donors, like JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, are tried and true Wall Street cronies who are never held accountable for white-collar crimes that hurt millions of people. That she accepts their donations suggests that she may not prioritize the interests of the American people. Further on the donations front, Hillary has recently been criticized by feminists for accepting donations from countries that commit horrific women's rights violations. Meanwhile, Bernie has set a record for the most small individual contributions a candidate has ever received. Their third largest point of disagreement is on foreign policy. In general, Hillary favors intervening in other countries in order to protect civilians, notably in the Middle East. This tendency of American politicians has been criticized as paternalism and world policing. Academics call this imperialism and blame Western meddling for further destabilization of those regions and thus giving rise to terrorist groups like Daesh, aka ISIS. However, some see Hillary's policy as progressive, given that she's one of the only politicians advancing an explicitly feminist agenda abroad. She sees women and girls as playing a key role in addressing a range of global concerns. Alternatively, Bernie thinks we should take a hands-off approach and believes that our resources should be spent on Americans, not on other countries. He believes the real threat is right here at home in the form of growing wealth inequality. So, there you have it. There are other nuances between the two, of course, but these are the biggest ones that go back many years. So if you're voting Democrat, it's worth thoroughly researching their differences, and either way, let's get out the vote. Let me know what your thoughts are down below, and I'll catch you next week. It's that time of the year again, the time when we all resolve to lose weight, knowing full well that we'll probably fail at it.